It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl, the science quiz program here in the Prince George's schools, and we're devoted to science literacy. Let's find out what all of these young people know and play along with us. See how many of these questions you can get right as well. 2 outstanding elementary schools here to play our game today. Let's meet them right now. First, from Northview Elementary School, say hello to Lena. Lena, nice to have you here. She's an crossing guard, as you can see there with her sash. The captain is Aaron. Hey, Aaron, nice to have you on our show today. And Jenna is here today. Nice to have Jenna here, all 5th graders over there. Let's go to Whitehall, their competition. Hey, Whitehall, Kai is here. He's a 4th grader. Nice to see you, Kai. Wave to everybody at home. Ethan is here today. He is the captain. Oh, he's ready to go, I can tell. And Benson is here. Hey, Benson. Everybody wearing matching shirts. You guys are looking good. And we're going to have a great game here today. We have 6 categories of questions that we use on the Science Bowl. And if you're not familiar with our show, let's show you those categories right now.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing, and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's science potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
And here on the Science Bowl, our game board reflects question difficulty. Easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points. Tougher ones, 15, 20, 25, the toughest of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points. We never make deductions for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds today, one of these 2 good-looking teams will come back to play again for the chance to move on to the semifinals in this, our 37th year of competition here in Prince George's schools. Let's go over and make sure everything works properly. Before we start, let's go to that red team. Aaron, would you try your buzzer? It looks and sounds good. Good luck to you and to Jenna and to Lena. And Ethan, give it a push. All right, he's confident over there. Congratulations to that team as well. Good luck to Kai and Ethan and Benson. We go alphabetically, N before W. Congratulations, guys, on being here today. May the better team win. Let's start our game. Aaron, let's play the bowl.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25 points. Big one in that category is as follows. The rapid wing beats of a hummingbird. You know how a hummingbird, it like kind of hovers in midair. When hummingbirds do that, they generate a positive electrical charge, which the birds use to pull toward them these negative. Northview.
Pollen?
Not pollen, not pollen. Whitehall. The rapid wing beats of a hummingbird generates positive electrical charges, which the bird uses to pull toward them these negatively charged S initial flower parts that contain pollen. Yes, sir.
Spores?
No, it's called the stamens. The stamens was the correct answer there. Go again, red. Aaron.
Zoo parade for 15.
Zoo for 15 points is a visual question. All right, Whitehall and Northview, look at the monitor in the studio at the picture we're about to show you. The famous ornithologist James Audubon once saw one of these birds called a great auk, A-U-K, a bird that is now extinct. And he thought it was one of these similar-looking flightless birds that is still here.
Penguins.
Whitehall.
Penguins.
Yeah, they kind of look like penguins, don't they? Yeah, but they are long gone, unfortunately. All right, you got some points. Go. Green.
Body systems for 15.
Body for 15 points is your question. Neil deGrasse Tyson wrote in one of his books that more bacteria live in 1 linear centimeter of the lower part of this body organ than all the humans have ever lived on the earth. What is that organ we're talking about here?
The
Aaron.
the intestines.
The intestine, yes. The lower part of the intestine, the large intestine, or the colon. We would have taken any of those variations. You're on the board now. 65 points. Oh, we've got a tie. Go, Red.
Zoo parade for 10.
Zoo for 10. This is interesting. Bears living on the Alaskan Peninsula are usually twice as heavy as those that live away from the water because they get to gorge on these famous migratory fish. Yes, Northview. Help him out, Lena. Jenna.
Salmon. Salmon.
Salmon, that's exactly, I knew it was on the tip of your tongue there, yeah. All those salmon come by and they just have that, boy, that's like a buffet. The fish come right to them. Good answer, go Red.
Body systems for 10.
Body system for 10, here's your question. Kids who get scarlet fever usually also have an infection passed along by the Streptococcus bacterium, an infection known as strep, Whitehall?
Strep throat.
Strep throat it is. Yes, sir. Good work over there. Go, Green.
Let's get physical for 10.
Physical for 10 points. Your question is as follows. In the comic book world of the legend of superheroes, Eternium is one of these, even if in the real world it does not appear on the periodic table. Northview?
An element?
An element, yes. Eternium sounds like an element, and it is in science fiction, but not in real life. Good. Answer. Go.
Science potpourri for 10.
Science potpourri for?
10.
10 points. Here's your question. How many of you make pancakes at home ever? Yeah, I do too. When making pancakes, don't overmix the batter because if you do, you'll deflate the batter, breaking up the air bubbles, and you're going to have a pancake that's flatter than a pancake. You're also going to cause the flour to develop this protein that many people are allergic to. Whitehall.
Glucose.
Gluten, yes. You can cause gluten to develop there if you overbeat that batter. You said glucose. Okay, sorry, that's not correct. Correct answer was gluten. We will throw that out and we go back to the red team to choose. Go, Aaron.
Daylight science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. Before suspected alien spacecraft were called UFOs, unidentified flying objects, and now UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, they were known by most people simply as flying what?
Saucers.
Whitehall.
Saucers.
Saucers is right, yeah, flying saucers, yeah. That's what we saw in all of the old science fiction movies. Good, go. Green.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Get this right and we tie the score. On an airplane, those of you that have flown, you may be nervous flyers. On an airplane, you can often tell who the nervous flyers are. They're the ones biting their fingernails and the ones gripping the armrests so tightly that these parts of their hands are turning white. Northview.
Palms?
Not the palms, no. These parts of their hands are turning white. Ethan?
The fingers.
The fingers we will take? Yes, or the knuckles. The fingers or the knuckles. Good. Go. Oh, hold that thought. The buzzer says we've come to the end of the first round. We have a tie score. 85 Northview, 85 Whitehall. More Science Bowl straight ahead. Don't go away. And welcome back to our tied game here, 85 all. Before we ask any more science questions, a few personal ones of our players today. Let's go first to Northview Elementary School. Aaron, nice to have you guys here today. Tell us about Northview. Who's your principal out there?
Mr. Simmons.
Mr. Simmons, and he is a great supporter of you guys. I know that. And who's your coach?
Miss Mathis and Miss Bible.
They are both here today, and I know they have been working hard to get you guys ready for this experience here. Northview has been on our show for many years. In fact, there's a picture of a Northview team in the Washington Post, Kids Post article that we have posted around the studio here when you guys used to wear lab coats when you came here all the time. Tell us if you have any alternates on your team, Aaron.
We have Blast, Zufa, and Amari.
Wonderful. We'll bring them out in just a few moments because they're an integral part of this team. What is that about Northview that you love that you want to tell us about?
We get to have lots of field trips, and we always have lots of events. Like we're going to have on Valentine's Day, my class and a few other classes, we're going to have like a fun party that we're going to go to.
Well, you used an important word there, fun. I mean, you're there to learn, but it's got to be fun. You got to like the teachers. They got to make it fun, you know. And I know you've got some great teachers there. Aaron, someday, what do you want to do?
I want to become a teacher.
A teacher, yeah. You told me that earlier. I think you'd be a great teacher. You've got a great spirit about you, good empathy. We need good teachers. Thanks for sharing that with us. We like your shirts there, too. Lena, nice to have you with us today. This young lady told me she wanted to be an orthopedist when she got older, and I think that's wonderful. What inspired you, Lena?
When I was in 2nd grade, we were learning in health about all kinds of surgeons and doctors, and one kind of surgeon that caught my attention was the orthopedist. And after I found out about what they do and how they help people a lot and how people need them in their lives, I had really gotten interested in being one, so I studied more about it, and now I want to be one when I grow up.
I hope you hold to that dream. You know, our bones are important, you know, and things go wrong with them. And as we get older, they become even more problematic, and sports figures have to have treatment from orthopedists oftentimes. Thanks for telling us about that. What do you do in your spare time, Lena?
In my spare time, I like playing volleyball and reading books.
Wonderful. You're a good player. Keep it up. Jenna, nice to have you here with us today. You want to be a cardiologist. How'd you get interested in that?
Because so my grandma has heart problems, and she's been encouraging me to be a cardiologist, and I wanted to be one because I loved about the heart. I like studying the heart anatomy.
And you love your grandmother too. Yeah, I can tell. I bet she appreciates that very much. What do you do in your spare time, Jenna?
I usually either draw or dance.
Yeah, so very creative young lady. Nice to have you here today. Let's go over to the Whitehall team. And Ethan, how about the Whitehall story? Tell us, yeah, your school was county champ a couple years ago. Yeah, so you got that on to live up to. You're doing a nice job of that. Who's your principal?
Dr. Farmer.
Absolutely, out there, and she was at one time the coach of the team here. We know Dr. Farmer very well. And who's the coach now?
Mr. Booker and Mrs. Murray.
Wonderful, yes, and they have been working hard to get you guys ready for this game here today. Any alternates on your team?
Yes, Christian, Wyatt, and Evie.
Wonderful. Thank you for mentioning their names, and we'll bring them out in person in a few moments here. Tell us something about Whitehall that we should know.
All the teachers are really nice, and they have a good way of teaching, and you can do a bunch of after-school activities.
Boy, that's music to the ear to all your teachers and administrators, because that's what they hope you are experiencing there. And yeah, Whitehall is a terrific school, as Northview is. What do you want to do someday, Ethan? You were telling me you like to weld, yeah?
Because I like to make things.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's going to be cool. We need good tradespeople. And as I was telling Ethan, you know, you can be an artist. You can be very creative if you're a welder. You're a good captain. Keep it up. Benson, nice to have you with us today. You are a soccer player, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you do in your spare time if you're not playing soccer?
I like going play in the woods. Like, we're renovating our house, so I help with that and just building projects and stuff.
I think that's great. Get out there and see what's living in the streams and in the woods there. And, you know, that's a whole lesson out there. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be a marine biologist or a soccer player.
Wonderful. Yeah, I know you're going to be successful. You're a good player. Kai, nice to have you here. I think you're the youngest person on the panel today. You're a 4th grader, and this young man has lots of ologists that he wants to be. Tell us what you're thinking about.
So, I would like to be like a zoologist, and I would mainly like to do ornithology or herpetology.
Yeah, so you like reptiles, and you like birds, and you like animals in general. And you have 2 animals at home, don't you?
Yes.
What are they?
They're 2 parakeets.
Yeah, and what are their names?
Parakeetie and 2.
Well, I'm sure they're in good hands, and you take very good care of them. Nice to have you here. You're playing a good game. Let's get back into it. 85 all. Last correct answer came from the green team. So, Ethan, let's go back to the bowl. Your turn.
Dateline Science for 10.
Dateline for 10. Here's a quote. I confess that in 1901, I said to my brother Orville that man would not fly for 50 years. Ever since, I've distrusted myself and avoided all predictions. So said whom? Ethan?
Wilbur.
Wilbur, that's right. Orville's brother, Wilbur Wright. Good answer. Go, young man.
Let's get physical for 5.
Physical for 5 points. The 2 meteoroids that slammed recently into the surface of Mars created those huge craters. They would not have done similar damage to Earth because it's likely that this would have protected us, something that is Yes, Aaron.
The atmosphere?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, the atmosphere is very thin up there on Mars. They did not have the same protective shield. Good answer. Go red. Aaron, your choice.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Here's your answer. Here's your question, rather. Palm trees are ideally adapted to tropical areas plagued by hurricanes and typhoons because palm trees have a limited amount of foliage and their trunks have no what? Northview?
Branches?
There are no branches, yeah. After a hurricane, you see all the destruction. The palm trees, they're still standing. They've evolved to cope with hurricanes and other kinds of high wind events. Go. 105 to 95. You have a 10-point advantage. Red.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points. Here's your question. This is very interesting because seawater contains just 2% oxygen versus 21% in the air we're breathing now. That's the reason why animals like seals and whales and dolphins that live in the water have kept their lungs and never, Whitehall?
Have made gills.
That's right, they never develop gills because there's not enough oxygen in the water to sustain them. You were way ahead of me. Nicely done. Go. Green.
Body systems for 20.
Body for 20 points. RSV. Recently afflicting a large number of children is a syncytial S virus V that attacks this R initialed body system. Northview.
Special body system.
Aaron?
The retina?
Not the retina. No. RSV, a syncytial virus that attacks this R initialed body system. Ethan.
The respiratory system.
It is the respiratory system. Yes, good try there, Aaron. We give the points to Whitehall. Go.
Let's get physical for 15.
Physical for 15 points. Here's the question. It is a visual question. Look at the monitor, please, at the picture we're about to show you. You know, the Hubble Space Telescope took this picture of something called the Pillars of Creation in a nearby nebula. They call it the Pillars of Creation because it's where what astronomical celebrities are born? Aaron.
Planets?
Not planets. What are born inside those Pillars of Creation, Ethan?
Stars.
Stars. That's where the stars are born. Absolutely right. Good. Go.
Science potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. All right. Question. Listen carefully. The study of bacteria, viruses, and teeny-weeny creatures is known as this kind of biology. Ethan.
Microbiology.
Microbiology. That's right, micro. Thank you, Kai, for your help on that one. Go again. Green.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Alex Haley's popular book and TV series on the history of African Americans was named for this plant part.
Roots.
Whitehall.
Roots.
Yes, the name of the series was Roots. Good. Go. Green.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. The author of the best-selling book Braiding Sweetgrass says she is envious of plants because they can perform this food-making process. Whitehall?
Photosynthesis.
Yeah, but we can't. We can't stand out there in the sun and make sugar. If only we could. Go. Green.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. In the movie Finding Nemo, Bruce the shark tried unsuccessfully to change his eating habits, thinking he might become a what, Aaron?
A vegetarian?
Yeah, he wanted to be a vegetarian in the worst way. It didn't last, did it? No, he didn't develop a taste for plants. Go, Red, come on, you need some points.
Science potpourri for 25.
Science potpourri for 25 points. Big one in that category. Here we go. The famous astrophysicist, the director of New York City's Hayden Planetarium, and possessed of a great sense of humor, wrote a book called Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. Who is that famous astrophysicist? Fun guy. That's Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson was the answer there. Go again, Red. Aaron.
Let's get physical for 20.
Physical for 20 points. Here's your question. You might have read the Dr. Seuss book about oobleck, a non-Newtonian liquid known called oobleck, feels solid when you squish it between your fingers, but it turns back into a liquid.
Surface tension?
Again?
Surface tension?
Not surface tension, no. Whitehall. Oobleck feels solid when you squish it between your fingers, but it turns back into a liquid when you release the what?
The pressure.
The pressure, that's right. Thank you, Benson. Good help there. Go, green.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. The traditional gift on a couple's 30th wedding anniversary is often a string of these precious stones, the only ones not mined, but produced by living organisms. Aaron.
Pearls?
Yeah, a string of pearls. You were right on it. Good, go. Come on, you need some more points.
Science, body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25. Big one in that category. Here's the question for you. What same word describes a tear in your aorta, which can be life-threatening, and the opening up of a frog in biology class to study its anatomy? Whitehall.
Dissecting.
Dissection, yes. Dissection is the word that defines both of those things that I just read to you. Good answer. Go, green.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Your question: for a long time, parents suspected that getting their children vaccinated could lead them to getting this A-initialed condition marked by impaired social behavior. Come on, Northview. Help them out. Come on, Jenna. Lena.
Asperger's?
No, oh, good try. Not Asperger's. Whitehall.
Anxiety.
No, say it again.
Anxiety.
Autism. Autism was the right answer there. Go again, please. We'll turn out the red light here at Northview, and we'll go back to, yes?
Asperger's is part of autism.
Okay, we will give you the points there. We're going to give you the points for Asperger's. Go again, red.
Science potpourri for 20.
Science potpourri for 20 points. Here's your question. Robert Hooke, one of the first users of a microscope, he was the one who gave this 4-letter name to the tiny boxes he saw when examining a slice of cork from a tree. Come on, Aaron.
Cell wall?
We will take cell. Yes, he was the first one who saw a cell. Good, go.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Here's your question. Some foods, usually called vegetables, like tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers, are actually fruits because they, like apples and oranges and pears, Aaron?
Have seeds.
They have seeds, yes, sir. Good, go. You're on a roll.
Let's get physical for 25.
Physical for 25, big one in that category. Here it is. A book called The Poison Squad tells the story of men who 100 years ago, boy, they were brave. They volunteered to eat food that contained additives that had never been tested for safety. They included borax, formaldehyde, and this S-initialed artificial sweetener that is still used today. Northview.
Sugar?
Not sugar, artificial sweetener. What artificial sweetener? S-initialed, that along with borax and formaldehyde were eaten by men 100 years ago before the safety of those substances was known. Whitehall, any idea?
No.
It's called saccharin. Saccharin. Go again, please. Red.
Zuparade for 25.
Zuparade for 25 points. Big one in that category. Two-part answer. Listen carefully. Insects can see this kind of light that's just beyond the visible spectrum of light, while snakes can see this other kind of light. Whitehall.
Infrared and ultraviolet.
You got them both. What I wanted to hear. Good. Go. Green.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Here's your question, teams. Helen Keller, a woman with multiple disabilities, once said, and I quote, "Blindness cuts us off from things, while this cuts us off from people." Northview.
Being mute?
Not being mute. Good try. Blindness cuts us off from things, while this cuts us off from people. So said Helen Keller, who's had multiple disabilities. Ethan?
Being deaf.
Being deaf, absolutely right, deafness. And with that, we come to the end of our game. It's been a great one. We're going to double check that score, and we'll be back with you in just a moment. Well, welcome back, everybody. Everybody here today is whip smart. They look great, and it was a battle of the buoys, and both sides won today. I think you're all in agreement with that. What wonderful playing here today. We're proud of everybody. Our final tally is Northview 180, Whitehall 260. Round of applause for that Whitehall team over there. Ethan, would you be good enough to tell us all the people that made this possible? Who's standing behind you?
Wyatt.
You're going to have to do more than that. Everybody.
Wyatt, Mrs. Murray, Evie, Christian, Mr. Booker, and Dr. Farmer.
Did a nice job on that, Ethan. Congratulations. Round of applause for this Northview team over here. Another championship team. Aaron, take it away.
This is Mr. Simmons, this is Miss Mathis, this is Amari, this is Miss Bible, this is Blas Jufa, and this is Miss Brown.
Boy, you could have my job. You did that beautiful, beautiful. Thank you all for a wonderful game here today. We're proud of everybody, and thank you for tuning in onto the Science Bowl, and we hope to see you next time. Until then, I'm Dave Zarin. Bye-bye, everyone.